Okay.
I don't know how you put up with us always just like being psychic about your
That was
notes.
crazy. Not only like
The number of times I've said stuff, you just stared at me like,
I've never even heard someone say that out loud in my life until just now.
Okay, so welcome back to the El Colony Cast, a
Hey,
podcast about all things
that's
smoke the
my
surrounding
line.
area.
No, he's doing it. It's fine.
I am your editor and apparently
poorly timed.
I'm apparently your not quite psychic enough producer Fish, and joining me are our co-hosts Andy.
Howdy.
And I'm sorry I read your mind, Hannah.
Ahoy. Ahoy.
Boy.
Okay, so I don't think we have anything to catch up with unless Hannah has another terrifyingly wild story to go over.
No, I don't.
So there's one time that I found a body.
No. But
Okay, so Hannah, what are we talking about tonight?
so funny you should ask after you just totally like, and so just in case you were wondering
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
the eruption was Fish said a term called sweat equity, which I've never heard anyone say out loud in my life.
I've definitely heard it.
However,
I said it recently.
I watch a lot of reno shows.
However, because of what we're talking about, it was part of the show. We're talking about a show.
Is it this old house?
We're talking about this old house.
Tell you, I watch
Okay.
a lot of reno shows.
Oh my god, I've watched a lot of this.
So
And I've probably heard it said on that show.
Yeah.
But like looking up stuff about the show, I was like, sweat equity. I get it. I know what it means. I just don't say it that often.
Who the hell says that?
Yeah. I love that. I was like, what? How are you saying this
it
right
came
now?
up in a completely unrelated topic, and then all of a sudden Hannah just completely fell apart to a level that I've never been that funny, even on purpose.
I was like, what is going on right now?
And yeah, so audience, this is where we are today.
So
Welcome to this old house.
Yeah, welcome to this old house. This old house, it's going on season 45.
Wow.
1,136 episodes.
That's
as of
like
June.
one or two more than The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was created by Russell Morash. And it started as just originally a one-time 13-part series on WGBH. Meant to just be that special.
Yeah.
And then it evolved from there. They just went full force. It started with first two. Oh, that was in 1979. I should add. Oh, sorry, we had the
Sorry about that.
the fan on. First two houses were featured. That
We
were
were so thrown
I know.
by the sweat equity thing.
I know.
Sorry.
The first two houses that were featured were in Dorchester and Newton. And the series initially took on like a more modest. I remember them being like pretty modest houses back in even
really
the 90s.
varied.
It was
Yeah.
varied, but like initially, this is what they did. That was like
Yeah.
more fixer uppers and like
Yeah. And
less
I feel like as it
remodeling.
went on, it was kind of like, look at this new sparkly thing.
Or even just like more grandiose like projects and bigger homes.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
more valuable, like, or more neighborhoods with a little bit more.
money.
Affluence.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Both
not
of
to
those
say
things.
they do that now, but like, I mean, every house is so expensive now anyway. So,
Yeah.
so not to say that this happened right off the bat. But it was something that was of topic for the first several seasons was who was the host?
Bob Vila
And it was Bob Vila.
and Norm Abram.
Yes. Kind of. Yes.
Kind of.
Norm wasn't really a host. He was just like,
He was the guy who built a lot of stuff.
he was just the guy who was always there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like the contractor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a point of like contention, I guess.
Oh, between them?
Yeah. Maybe not between them because Norm just seems so nice.
Yeah.
And Bob,
Bob seems
Little-
a little,
little-
arrogant.
a little bit.
Bob's a little hostier.
Yeah.
So there was one project in the later of Bob's tenure there, and he was there for a good while, like from the start of the show until about like 10 years or so after.
It feels like it should have been like I feel like I remember watching him on it.
Oh, I definitely
Yeah,
watched
he
him
was.
on it.
I think he
Yeah.
was out in '89.
Yeah.
So that would've been-
that sounds
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, I would have been very little, but yeah, totally watched
And like
it.
I
Right.
can remember
I watched episodes with him on it.
I
Yeah.
can remember
Yeah.
what the guy who looked like who replaced him was kind of like a big deal. I don't remember what his name is though.
Yes.
We'll get there.
Scott?
Steve Thomas.
Steve, I was pretty close.
Yeah, and I
close,
remember
yeah.
Steve Thomas.
I can't
Yeah.
remember
Vividly.
real people's names.
Steve Thomas is totally a real person, Andy.
Yes. So he this was like one of the things that kind of broke the camel's back for Bob, I guess, because this is when it originally started as a model of the homeowners putting in work during the filming themselves.
Yes.
Sweat equity
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
And Bob was upset at the end of the episode saying that the owners didn't put in enough sweat equity themselves in the project that they were working on.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That was one of the reasons.
Yeah.
The other one, which I think is actually the reason, was
His contract was up.
no,
Everyone liked Norm better.
he filmed a commercial for Home Depot's competitor, and Home Depot was famously like their underwriter for so long.
Oh, they pulled funding.
Yes,
Not funding.
No, they didn't pull funding. They pulled Bob.
Well, they pulled donation.
They pulled both.
Yeah.
They did both. So they did. The competitor was Rickle Home Centers, which I don't even know
I
if
never
they're
heard of 'em, yeah.
if they're a big deal anymore or not. They're definitely not a big deal. Whether they exist, probably not.
That was the thing about Bob. Like, that's what made him seem real hosty. Is like he hawked every.
Yes.
Like, he was in commercials constantly.
Yes. So he. That's like probably the bigger thing.
Yeah.
So they dropped sponsorship. They had over the years they've had so many underwriters, like of whether it's insurance companies, like Kohler, Home Depot. We talked about like
And an underwriter is basically the advertiser, but it's
Yes.
public television, so it can't be advertising. So it's an underwriter.
It's
Yeah.
sponsorship.
Yeah, it's a weird.
Yeah.
So and they do definitely like talk about like, oh, we got this at the Home Depot,
Depot, yeah,
in the
yeah,
show,
yeah.
stuff like that. Kohler is a great.
They're gonna install this cooler,
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, so they do little things,
A
little
lot of name drops.
little nods
Yeah.
to whomever is their underwriter at the time through the episodes. So yeah, that was a big deal. They doesn't really say like was Bob. I believe Bob was like definitely let go because of that. But there was also this contention happening at the same time. The house in question that like broke the camel's back for Bob was Weatherby Farm in Westwood. If you want to look up the episodes,
Okay.
you can. Because they're all online everywhere. It's the most accessible show in the history of shows.
Yeah.
You could go to the website, you could go to YouTube. They are syndicated everywhere.
Oh
Like,
yeah. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
My father used to watch that like
Constant.
all the time.
So in Bob's time being there were 11 million viewers, and the show had won 5 Emmys. So that was the
Wow.
first 10 years.
For a public TV show.
Yeah, yes.
11 million
Yeah.
people watching
This isn't
PBS.
CBS. Yeah.
PBS.
So they right, and they would win for like most outstanding home improvement, whatever, or
Yeah.
like home something show. I think they were in a couple different categories depending on the year. So Steve Thomas would take over as host until 2003. So from 89 to 2003.
Good run.
Good
Yeah,
run.
good run.
I didn't even know it was still on.
Yes. I've just watched some last night. So
And
there
it was doing research.
Yeah, there were some remarks about made after Bob's exit that his presence was overtaking the other cast members' airtime. Whether that's a lot of production.
And that's the thing is
Yeah.
like
That's so much production.
cast members, like Norm became like he was just on it so frequently
Yeah.
that he became a cast. Like other than that, there was no cast members.
So they're considered a cast now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're hired like by the show to be
Yeah,
the
it's-
people
on, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
for that project.
Yeah, the Reno TV show landscape has changed so much since
Yeah.
the late 70s.
Right.
Like, I don't think HGTV existed back then. so-
No, it didn't. So, in 2003, Kevin O'Connor took over, who I was like, yeah, the new guy.
Yeah.
He's been the host since then. It's 20 years. I was like, oh, yeah, the new
He's
host.
still the newest
Yeah,
guy.
the new guy.
He also, I don't know if you've seen him or if you realize that you've seen him and he's the host. He reminds me, did you ever watch Workaholics?
No.
No,
The sitcom? I've seen it.
it's got this character in it called Anders.
Okay.
In this guy,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I
Reminds-
see who. I know what you're talking
the
about.
actor that I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
Because I don't even know either of the people that you're talking about.
Okay, we can pull them up. They don't look alike, but when I picture the host of the
You picture the other guy?
I picture Anders from Workaholics. And I think like if there was ever a current spoof of this old house made, that this actor could make like the perfect
Yeah.
person to play
I mean,
Kevin O'Connor.
there is a spoof.
Yes, there is. We'll talk
I don't
about
wanna-
that.
all right, I don't
well,
wanna-
there isn't anymore.
Well, there was.
Yeah,
a
that's
spoof.
not running.
It was incredibly popular.
Yes,
spoof,
it was.
I didn't want to like jump ahead your nose.
So that's
Oh, I can totally see that. Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah.
yeah. Audience, I've picked up pictures of both Kevin O'Connor and
Who's that? What's the actor's
Anders Holm.
name? Yeah, Anders Holm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anders from Workaholic is just a guy named Anders. So you know.
Yeah. So, yes, that's what I picture in my head every time I think of the host of This Old House currently. Norm is unofficially / the co-host
Yeah.
now.
Oh, is he still on it?
Yes,
He's still live?
everyone's still on it. They just
Wow.
added more people.
Okay.
So the cast is now about like 15 people because they added
That's crazy.
so many different
Oh, this is the
categories.
plumbing expert. And
Yeah. Well, even more than that, it's like how to keep your home like up to date and like just like where to your DIY expert. So
Yeah.
like there's like just a lot of different experts that
Yeah.
they have on the show now. It's okay. So for its 40th, Abrams is now like unofficially co-host / co-host. So he might not always open the show with O'Connor, but he's like he takes over hosting duties. So like Kevin O'Connor has started his family
Yeah.
at some point in his career, so he was like on paternity leave, and Norm took the reins while he was gone. 40th season was in 2019, and they did a little celebration by revisiting some of the more notable projects, including their first home they did in 1979 in
It has
Dorchester.
fallen down.
No. But they did I remember them revisiting some stuff throughout like the episodes. Like I remember I'd be like watching one and they'd be like, we're actually heading back to this house, like just because I don't know,
Yeah.
something
It was
else.
on the way.
Oh, and yeah, and I meant to add Kevin O'Connor actually started as a homeowner on the show.
Oh, really?
He
Oh,
was
so it was just we did his house and he just never left.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
like he
Oh my
was
God,
a
he's
home.
their Dan Mahoney. They brought
Yeah.
him and he just didn't leave.
So he had his home done on the show, and then like that's how he met.
He's like, hey, buddy.
Yeah, production. I don't know.
You guys doing stuff here today? Cool.
I'm backing up a little bit just to give you some idea of where the show has grown from. So 2001 was the first time it was actually sold off. So it was sold to Time Inc. and they like acquired all of his assets. They made it This Old House Ventures. They also created a This Old House magazine. I remember that a little bit.
That. Yeah.
2016, it was sold to a private equity firm. Thank you, called TZP Growth Partners. That was not for a super long time because in 2021, in March 19th, it was sold to Roku, and Roku has since like given distribution to everyone. Like,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. Currently, some of the bigger underwriters are Home Depot's back on. Don't worry.
They're back.
Yeah, and GMC.
Because everybody knows how much I love Home Depot.
Yeah, yes.
8 years of my life.
So, it's like This Old House is omniscient. Like, it's literally everyone knows it. It's in everything. It's part of like
It was
media history.
It was the start to the home makeover show.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it
There
was.
might have been something before, but
But
nothing
it's
successful.
nothing
Yeah.
hit like it was the first big one.
So much noteworthy stuff has came from it. They've done SNL skits, like any type of comedy thing that you could do with it. There was also very famously Home Improvement was made from it, where Tim, the Toolman Taylor, was on his show Tool Time, and
With
he
his carpenter cohort Al.
Who was super not Norm.
Yeah.
So they were parodying Bob Vila and Norm Abrams.
Yep. Just it's just Abram.
Sorry,
No, it's fine. It's just
I'm used to the S at the end.
I believe
of it.
there's two of them.
that would be Norm's Abram then, Andy. Come on.
Thanks, Andy.
You're welcome. I got your back.
Hannah, if Andy's backing you up on a spelling question, just assume
that.
you're wrong and move on.
That was like the best.
He's guessing.
Like, backup. There's two. There's definitely two.
There's definitely two of them. I've seen them both together.
One's got the S, one doesn't. Bob famously would go on the show,
A Tool Time, yeah.
Yeah, and
Or Home Improvement, yeah.
and would be like Tim's nemesis on
Yes.
it too. And then he did his own show for a long time, which I watched, which was Bob Vila's Home Again.
Norm also had his own show.
Oh,
He
so
worked-
of course we're going to
getting-
talk about all of the spin-offs.
Okay. It was like a carpentry show.
This-
My
Yes.
dad used to watch that more than
I watched the New Yankee Workshop more
Yes,
than I watched.
that was it. Yeah.
I watched that more than I
Don't
watched.
worry, guys. I have it in my
All right,
notes.
This old house.
Let her get to the notes.
Sorry, Andy.
So yes,
I just feel like we're gonna ruin a bunch of it. So we keep talking.
the New Yankee Workshop, as I was about to say.
I ruined it before we started, Andy. It's fine.
So that is strictly hosted by Norm Abram. Look, I actually have an S at the end that I crossed out.
Wow,
That's funny.
look at you.
Yeah.
See?
There's
Psychic.
only one of them on that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's just him.
I'd have to say that I actually watched that show more than This Old House,
I think
probably.
we all did. Like,
Because
I
the
kn- I did
quietness
too.
of it was so nice.
He was on par with Bob Ross.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like
It was
New
very
Yankee
chill and
yeah.
mellow.
Like New Yankee Workshop and the Joy of Painting were like the chill after school
Yeah.
shows.
And he's like, we're going to put together like a side table today.
Yeah.
And then he'd like do all the nice little wood carvings.
yeah, and then all of a sudden he's like dovetailing,
Yes.
and
in
mitering,
a dado joint.
And then,
Yes.
yes.
I don't know what that is, but I know the
like,
word.
he's like the disc. You need to like put
Biscuits.
the little
Biscuits.
holes.
Biscuits,
The
yeah,
biscuits.
yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
God, the biscuits.
and then you gotta put wood glue on it, and it's like that's
And
a
he's
lot
like-
of wood.
he's like-
don't worry, you'll just wipe off the rest.
And then he'd be like, and this really calls for dowels. So he'd make the little things for
And then he
like
put little dowels in. It's such a very.
very satisfying.
It is. It was.
Is that streaming somewhere?
Oh, I don't know.
almost
All
100.
right.
So
I know.
Research.
so
Get on that.
most of and I'm saying most, all of This Old House is on YouTube, available free to everyone. Also, their website available free to
Socialism.
everyone. So their website also contains
Yes.
their full
On YouTube.
There is a New Yankee Workshop YouTube channel
yes,
nice.
yeah,
where it's just all there.
I know what I'm watching in the office.
yeah.
tomorrow.
So their website is not just like here's about This Old House. No, it's an active show. They're still actively doing things. So there's lists of things you can look up on their website as far as recommendations for tools, like what were we talking about? What fridge to put where,
Yeah.
whatever the heck. Your different projects you want to do around the house. It highlights different episodes depending on what you want to search for like your home improvement project, and will bring up like what you need to watch in order to do that. It's like a very very cool website. If you're doing home improvement, it's still geared towards that. It's like very much actively participating in your
have a
home's
question
improvement.
that
Yeah.
I just thought of. What are you doing to your house?
Me?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just felt like that's what caused all.
Oh.
You're like doing home improvement. You're like, I need to find out. Oh, This Old House is still on.
No.
This could be an episode.
One
Oh
of-
no, this whole house is totally on the list.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
All right.
Someone. I think one of you
I
added
100%
this.
I
also.
add stuff to the list. I don't read it.
I've been doing stuff to my house for a long time.
But that's just kind of that like.
Yeah, no, but I didn't look. I didn't go looking up This Old House
But she
for
would,
that.
But now that she's found it, she's
I never let it go. You know what I mean?
Well, the funny,
Yeah.
like the thing that I remember most about, I remember two things specifically about it.
Mm-hmm.
One is that I would be like, this is a really expensive piece of equipment to do this very specific thing. And Bob be like, can I drive it?
yeah, I know.
And they were always like, this was like late 80s, early 90s, and they're like, we're gonna make this a green home. And you know, they were always like trying to do like the most cutting edge stuff.
They're still doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah. The episode I put on last night, they were like, we're redoing this basement. They're finishing a basement. They're like, as you can see, the post is a little tall, so his head was like grazing the basement ceiling.
Yeah.
They're like, it's pretty short down here. We're gonna dig out the basement floor,
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
cement it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
I was
Yeah,
like,
especially in older homes where
Yeah.
your cellar wasn't really meant to be livable space.
Yeah.
I was like,
And-
you guys lost me. I can't do this on my own.
Oh no.
I knew a guy who didn't have a basement, wanted a basement,
You're about to say exactly what happened to my house, but go ahead.
and ripped a hole in the floor and dug himself a basement a bucket at a time.
So my house did not have a basement, was in a different location in the lot on my yard.
Yeah. And built a basement, moved it over.
They built
That
a
at least
basement,
makes
moved
sense.
it.
That-
Yeah.
This guy like dug his basement under his existing
Also,
house.
they could have dug the basement to be whatever depth to comfortably be under there.
Was it not deep enough?
If you are above 5'10", you're not walking through it.
Well, yeah,
I'm all right.
I feel like this is Hannah's very polite way of telling me I'm never allowed to her house.
Oh no, you can. The
Just down
rest
there,
is
Just not downstairs.
the rest is really like tall, very tall ceilings in the living room and kitchen, which is one space. But anyway, yeah, I was lucky you guys lost me. But yeah,
sorry.
they're still doing like the most.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
definitely. In the time since it's been on, it's had 83 Emmy nominations.
That's insane.
They've won 20.
That's also crazy.
Wild.
Norm, so the cast members, I'm only doing the people we know.
Yeah.
There were a lot of other people. Sorry, shout out to the people who are currently on this
Shout out
old
to
house.
whoever those people are.
I'm sure you're great.
Your mom loves the show.
Yes. And you know what? I love the show, so I truly think they're probably very vetted and awesome. I haven't really kept up with it, so we're just going to do the classics. Norm, we talked about. He's the master
Carpenter?
carpenter. Tom Silva, you remember Tom?
Yes.
No.
Kind of.
Silver Fox.
That doesn't
No, that doesn't help
help
me at
either
all.
one of us, Hannah.
I love Tom Silva.
Really?
He's my favorite. Yes. He's got
Was he the one
the
after?
best Boston accent.
Was he the one after? No.
He's not a host. He's just part of the show.
He was just.
I don't remember this guy at all.
He's a general contractor.
I think he was one of the guys building stuff constantly.
He's not super
Yeah.
tall.
Oh, no, don't.
Silva, he's probably Portuguese.
No.
Don't want to guess.
Silva sounds.
Yeah.
Love him.
We all live here.
He's my favorite.
Yeah.
Richard Trethway? Richard, the plumber.
I don't know any.
He's
I
been on
literally knew,
So
like,
these people have been on
3
the
people.
show since it started.
Really?
Yes. If
That's
you
when you were talking about cast members. I'm like, there were like 2.
No, when
It
you
was-
if you see their faces, you'll know.
Like, it's
Yeah.
one of those, if you see enough episodes, the faces of the guys doing stuff
Yeah.
become familiar enough that it's like, oh, yeah, it's him.
Roger Cook, he was a landscape contractor, and he did move. They said moved on in January 2020, so maybe he didn't retire. But like I said, there's definitely newer cast members on
Yeah.
there that are responsible for copious amounts of different things now. Because there's what can't you do with your home at this point? And yeah, I mean, it's just been a roller coaster ride for them. They are kicking butt.
That's
still.
funny. Like I watched so much of it, and then sorry, there's more.
Yes, I almost forgot. So we talked about the new Yankee Workshop because that's truly a
spinoff.
That
It's
is
been
that is like the first.
very deliberate.
Yeah,
Like,
like
we're
people
taking-
like Norm.
Yeah.
People find Norm very soothing. Let's
Yeah.
let's just let him build things and be relaxing.
So there's Ask This Old House.
Okay.
Okay.
So This Old House is a 30-minute long series. Ask This Old House is an hour-long series.
Oh,
They're different
Okay.
shows.
clearly.
Yes.
Inside This Old House,
Okay.
that's just highlights of previous episodes.
Okay.
So
that is one of those. We have like
and then
40
have-
years of content. Let's
Yeah.
repurpose
We
it.
And
have like
then there's-
100 hours of. We have hundreds of hours. Can we please use this? So
and
we
then
can,
there's This Old House Classics, which are strictly just like the original first like 10 seasons.
Bob
Yeah.
Vila years.
Yes,
Yeah.
pretty much. So
The Vila Chronicles.
how crazy is that? So there's, besides the new Yankee Workshop, there's 4 shows with the name like Old House in
them.
there, all from this old house, but
I mean,
just different
which-
variants.
Yeah,
of
which
it.
makes total sense because like you legitimately just even think about the footage that is unaired alone
Mm-hmm.
over that many seasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, they still have the same sort of setup. Like the episodes I watched, they go when they talk to the homeowner. The homeowner they were talking to first had to have his 2-year-old with him who needed a nap. She's crying. Like he was like, "Yeah, that sounds good, great." Like just trying to
do
get
the
off
homeowners
camera.
still?
Some of them do,
involved?
Yep.
Yeah.
Another episode I watched, they had their aprons on, and they were like, "This is what I'm looking to do with this space," and that kind of thing, and was getting their hands dirty. Sweat equity.
Sweat Equity.
That's what I was. Can't believe.
It's the name of my band that only does workouts.
What was the band name we talked about earlier?
Oh, I can't remember.
Part Time Judo. Yeah.
Like
Part-time judo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Part-time judo opening for Sweat Equity.
Yeah, but that's really this old house. I loved it. There's a little bit of drama
I
in
feel like
there.
everybody loved it.
Who doesn't?
I
Donnie, I don't think I'd ever seen it before.
Oh, really?
I was like, what?
How?
How?
He was like, I don't know. I
feel
just
like you
didn't
by
watch the
accident
show.
Did he not have TV when he was a kid?
No,
Did
he
not have
definitely
eyes?
he had actual cable. I only had like PBS, so this was like
Yeah.
all I had.
You
to
know what?
watch.
Yeah, I think that was it for a long time as a kid. We didn't have cable at home, so PBS was kind of
My dad worked like in the labor. No,
Labor and delivery. Is that what you're about to say?
no. My mom worked in labor.
yeah.
in the trades. That's what I was looking for. So like to me, which is insane to like. I worked all day building a house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come home and watch someone else build a house and be like, why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good show.
Yeah.
It still is a very good show. They have not changed it up that much. I mean, they've modernized with the times.
Yeah,
As
but I mean,
most-
they
Most things should,
set
but
the bar. You
they
know,
did.
like it's. I remember hearing an interview with Peter Jackson. He was talking about when he's making the first Lord of the Rings film.
yeah.
And he's like, oh, if I make Gandalf like a wizard with a pointy hat and a long beard, that's like so cliche. And he's like, wait, this is where the cliche came
Yeah.
from.
Yeah.
And like that is this old house to like
Yeah.
decorating shows.
Yeah.
That's where they all come from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they whole network came out of this.
Yeah.
I
like,
love it.
2, really.
It's so good. It's a great show.
I'm totally going to watch the new Yankee Workshop.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so good.
So good.
The
And
biscuits,
and
man.
it also made me think of, did you ever watch The Victory Garden? That was something else my parents used to watch. It was also on PBS. It was like right
You know
around
what?
that
Yeah.
same time
It was
frame.
on. I don't think I ever watched it, but I knew of
I'd
it.
seen it.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Yan Can Cook?
Of course.
Yes.
I was
so
a
can you.
Yan Can Cook, the Frugal Gourmet,
Yeah. French chef.
French Chef.
Yeah.
Oh my God. What's
I
her
loved
name?
Yan Can Cook.
Julie Child.
Julie Childs. I
Yeah,
can't believe
yeah.
I forgot her.
Also a GBH production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's like all this stuff was on GBH.
Like GBH was one of the.
Yeah.
Probably should have another episode.
So you know how like when little
and the Cajun Chef.
oh, I didn't watch the
I
Cajun
didn't want.
Chef.
No, I think the Cajun Chef might have been like before our time.
Yeah. I
He
didn't
used to
watch,
say when the snow is knee deep to a 9-foot Indian, which again not culturally sensitive,
yeah.
but funny.
Yan Can Cook was one of my favorites, and I was obsessed with him.
Yeah,
But I was like 3.
I was gonna say I feel like that was like late. Like I would watch it, but like I wasn't watching.
I was like about 3. You know how like some little kids just end up with like a funny weird obsession,
Yes,
I
and
was-
mine was.
I was like,
Yan Can
I was
Cook.
like,
But
I was
they
like,
had-
10,
I loved Yan Can Cook.
I was like 10 or 11, and I made Cornish game hens for my parents for dinner one night because I was like so into cooking shows.
Oh yes, the cooking shows
Yeah.
from GBH were amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God, they were so good. Never mind like the children's programming that was on it, but like those shows,
Someone had WGBH.
the instructional shows they
Yeah.
had were like
Great. Yeah.
the best. Still hold up. I love them.
Fantastic. Love it. So let's go remodel the office.
No.
No. All
I
right.
think this is the part where we stop talking.
And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.